Hi everybody, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a Stampin' Show and Tell to share with you today. I'm going to be using the case challenge that I posted for the month of September. Now this case was borrowed from the Freshly Made Sketches blog. This is their Sketch 156, and if you can see here, it's got a card base and then it's got some key elements in here. So this is how I'm interpreting it today. As you can see, I'm not using true circles, I'm using images instead. So when you see a case card, take it for the idea and then make it your own. So some of you have been playing with the challenges with me and submitting your creations. I appreciate that. I love to see what you guys are doing. So keep doing that. You have until the last Monday of the month to send me some images of what you've been doing. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how I put this one together. It actually came together pretty simply, so I'm really happy with it. So I have mint macaroon as my card base, and I have a piece of DSP just cut for inside of that. I wanted some texture, but I didn't want to like emboss it, so I have a DSP with textured background. This comes from the Tranquil Textures DSP, so it's going to go on there. Then I decided I wanted to use my Shaded Spruce and my my new Highland Heather markers. So those are the two colors I'm going to use to color in my flowers. So to accentuate that, I'm going to use a piece of Shaded Spruce as my banner. And I'm going to put the Highland Heather underneath, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment on there. And then as you can see, I've already pre-stamped and pre-die cut from the set the roses and the bird. Now I did that on Thick Whisper White with Memento ink. Okay, and if you guys aren't familiar, this comes from the Petal palette stamp set, and they have the dies that coordinate the different elements for this set. So those are very handy. So there is where I got my image and my dies from. And then I'm also going to use some sequins at the end just to add a little bit of bling on top. Okay, and those are our basic adhesive back sequins. They come in 5 different colors in this fun kit. So I'm going to be using the green ones today. Okay, so it's really going to go together pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and do our layers on the card first. So I'm just very simply going to add some snail. Put down my DSP. Okay, now I'm going to stamp on here the From the Heart expression. I'm going to stamp it on the lower right corner with my Highland Heather cardstock. Now what I did is I ran adhesive along the top of my Shaded Spruce and on the 2 sides, so I kind of left this part not tacked down, and I did that on purpose. So I'm just going to run this across the center, kind of like a belly band. Okay, now I'm going to take this one, add adhesive, and what I want to do is I want to tuck this one underneath my green one and just kind of fit it in. Okay, so you can have as much of that show as you want, but I just wanted it to kind of not have that real cut edge. I wanted it to be overlapped a little bit. So that's as simple as that gets. Okay, so now these guys we need to color. I'm going to go ahead and start with the bird. I used my new Mango Melody color for the bird. Now I have to tell you, honestly, it's not one of my favorite colors, but the more I use it, the more I like it. So I am using it, and it really did turn out to be a nice color to go with the purples and the greens in this combination. So I'm happy with that. Okay, now let's see. I'm going to start with the leaves. Now I'm going to start with my light Shaded Spruce. Okay, and I'm just going to come in and color my leaf. I'm going to do the whole leaf with the lighter color. Just very lightly add the ink onto my image. You do not have to press hard. These pens really almost bleed out of their tips to color your images. So very lightly you can go over your image and get the effect you're looking for. Okay, I'm going to do that piece there too. A lot of green leaves on here. And when you come in close to your roses, try not to color into the rose, but if you do, you've got your color lifter to help you bleed that color back out. So don't panic, you can always make an adjustment. Okay, so there are my leaves in the light. Now I'm going to come in with my dark shaded spruce and I'm just going to add some shading to the leaf. So I'm just going to follow the way the image is stamped, and I'm just going to shade kind of one side of the image with the darker. So remember, you can interpret your image the way you see it or the way you want it to be seen. Don't feel like you have to mimic mine exactly if you're casing it, because stamping is a very individual craft and you should always make it your own card in one way or another. Okay, so there's my shaded spruce. Now I'm going to come in with my light Highland Heather, and the same idea, I'm going to color the whole flower, and then I'm going to go back with the darker one and add some shading. Now you might say, purple roses? Really, Susan? Come on. Matter of fact, I had a home in Sandy, Oregon. It was my first home with my husband. And believe it or not, the roses that were planted in the backyard along the house were purple. All the flowers in the yard were purple. And so we had rhododendron came up that were purple. We had roses that came up that were purple. There was heather in the yard that came up purple. We had irises that came up in the yard that were purple. So apparently the people who had the house prior to us really liked the purple. So yes, I have seen and I guess owned purple roses before. So now I'm going to come in. Now you see how they've done each one a little bit different. This one I went over completely before with the dark. This one I kind of variegated with the two. And this one I just highlighted the tips of the image with the dark. I'm going to try to do that on all of these this time. So I'm just going to very lightly come in and more or less trace my tip along the stamped image. If you feel better using the other end of the marker to do that, you go right ahead. You want to be comfortable with the way you're holding your tools. I wanted to see how that looked. If I just more or less came around and added just a little bit of the two-tone into the image, mimicking the stamp. So, you know, a fun thing to do, and I've done this just for myself, is stamp a whole bunch of flowers on like a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, be it white or vanilla. Or if you want to use the shimmer white, that would make beautiful roses, the shimmer. And just get out your markers and just color a whole bunch of them. Everyone can be a different color or different two tones or however you want to see it. And then you very simply can just die cut them and use them on cards. But you might want to just have an array of roses ready to use. So that's an idea. Okay, so as you can see, this one's a little different from that one. And I think I do like that. So now we're just going to add dimensionals. I'll pop these guys up real quick. And we will be on our way. Okay, so I'm putting my rose like this, so it kind of fills the card and comes down to the words, and I'm putting my little bird right there, okay? And then I'm going to bring in my sequence, and I'm going to add 3. You know I like to do things in 3, so I'm adding 1 right to there, down low and 1 up high. Not really in any particular order, but there we go. Now for the envelope, I kept it real simple. I'm just going to put the bird right here, kind of as a greeting to whoever you're addressing it to. If you want to color that in with your blends, remember to line the envelope because your blend's going to bleed through. But I think I'm going to leave it black and white. So there's that. All right, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed this fun, simple card using the Petal palette set. And again, this was to use the sketch that I'm promoting in September. Anybody can play in my sketch challenge. You just have to subscribe to the newsletter, which you can do below, comes out on Tuesdays, and create and send me a snapshot of your photo. And then you get entered into my drawing at the end of the month. So you're all welcome to play along. I'd love to see what you're doing in your own craft rooms. Okay, everybody, all my links are below as usual. You know the drill. I love thumbs up and comments below. Let me know you've enjoyed what I'm doing, as I like to be appreciated, as we all do. And I'll see you again next week with some more fun cards. All right, everybody, do some fun stamping today. Bye-bye.